So this is not going to be a trend, like, at all. Like, this, I know when I did my Patreon request for Absolute Sailor Moon, I said, like, I said this before, but I really only had one idea for one other, like, if I was going to do absolute anything, it was going to be, it was basically going to be, well, one other character, and this is that character, because this is the only one I could really have ideas for. Absolute Danny Phantom. So, yeah, this isn't really like an overarching story. This is kind of like what it, like, just kind of a general idea of it. So, yeah. For those wondering what this means, this is a take on the Absolute DC universe, which has just started with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do, like, well, what if we did an absolute version of Danny Phantom? Unlike the Marvel Ultimate Universe, in here, it's basically a world where the hope and what makes that character special is taken away from them. And, like, what if Batman didn't have his millions? What if Diana was raised in the underworld? And what if Superman was raised without a family? Like, are they still heroes? So yeah. So what are we gonna... So for this video, it's gonna be a little interesting, because it's like, well, what would a absolute Danny Phantom be like? How I imagine it, here's the idea, is that in here, the one thing that is taken away is Danny's family. In this continuity, the Fentons were not so much ghost hunters, they're more like astrophysicists, where they were trying to basically say that ghosts is just the realm of ghosts, the ghost zone, as they called it, is like another form of reality that we haven't seen. And while they were pulling off this big expose at a convention funded by Vlad Masters, the machine breaks and the ghost energy floods the room and lets out not only ghosts, but also changes people as well. It basically kind of like a Static Shock kind of thing, where it's, instead of bang babies, we get half ghosts or full ghost, or people or die and just become, because they were exposed to that astral energy, they become ghosts. Among them, Danny is one of them. So in here, his family is gone. Like, they're just gone. Like, his family is gone, and Sam and Tucker aren't his friends. Like, they aren't his friends. Not because, like, oh, you have ghost powers, you're gross. It's more like he just never met them. Like, he never really encountered them, and he's actually dating Valerie Gray, who is one of the only lights he has, but her father was killed in the accident. So she does blame Danny for that. So they are kind of against one another, especially since she now works for the guys in white, who are now, like, quarantining Amity Park until further notice. So that's the idea. Among other things, Danny now has no home, he has no friends, he has nothing, but he does feel responsible for what happened to what happened to Amity Park, and is now trying his hardest to, reconcile everything and put it back the way it was. That's really what he's trying to do in this situation, is just rectify all the problems his family had. Like, all the trouble his family had caused, and is now trying to, like, right that wrong constantly. So among the other villains, however, Danny does have an ally. Vlad is there, and Vlad didn't get his ghost powers yet, but he is, like, low-key studying Danny, basically saying, like, oh, I'll cure you, and we'll find a way to, maybe your parents got zapped into the ghost zone, who knows? But really, while he's telling him all this and trying to rebuild the ghost zone and trying to fix Danny, he's basically he believes, like, becoming a half ghost is, like, godlike. So he's just kind of, like, testing on himself throughout the story. As for other villains, you have Technus, who was caught in the blast and turned full ghost. You have Skulker, who in here is not like a hunter, or a ghost hunter. He is, but not in the same way it's a ghost in a suit. It's more of the guys in white build this this suit, and they call it Skulker. Like, there's an anagram for it, which I'm not even going to bother. So, who wears that suit is the person wearing that suit is the person who built it, which is Tucker. And yeah, he's the absolute skulker. Then you have other characters who are ghosts who were let out, such as, you know, Ember got let out. You have Walker. A lot of there are other ghosts who are just still ghosts, but others were turned into ghosts or half ghosts. Not on top of that, because we're going for full absolution here, as I hate that. We're going for full absolution in this storyline. The other major change is that Danny's powers are killing him. Because he's only half ghost, his powers kind of act like a disease, where the more he uses it, the more he goes ghost, the more his ghosts, like the ectoplasm in his blood, is like just spreading like a cancer in his body. So every time he goes ghost, it's more of that cancer spreading in him and will kill him and probably make him full ghost along the way. So therein lies another problem. So now Danny has he has nothing. So Danny has to prove that he is still, you know, the hero that he is in this version of Amity Park, which is, again, it's quarantined. Everyone is either a ghost or fighting against ghosts or just anti-ghost in general. And yeah, that's what I would do with a story like this. This would be my version of absolute Danny Phantom. And furthermore, throughout the story, I would have it that since his powers are killing him, Danny would basically look sicklier every time he goes ghost until he looks like just he almost looks like an emaciated Phantom. He would almost look like Deathstorm from the Mirror Universe and DC Universe. That's probably the best way I could describe what I would like to do with Danny. Just go full absolute on it, but Danny would still be trying to keep his humanity and trying to protect the people he loves and the city that his family basically screwed over because of their hubris. They are essentially now he's just trying to prove that he could still be a good person no matter what. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's just kind of that's kind of a pitch of what I would do with absolute Danny Phantom. You guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it. Comment below, let me know. Like I said, I will not be doing things like absolute Ben 10 or absolute Gravity Falls or absolute Kim Possible. This is the only one. This is the only one I really had any ideas for and really couldn't think of anything else for the others. So yeah, just comment below, let me know what you guys thought of this. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.